So.
What kind of leash was it?
It was a harness. It wasn't a leash. We didn't have a leash.
It wasn't
around
the same
your
one.
neck.
It wasn't the same one that Belle had. That like the harder she pulled, the more like choked her or something.
No, it wasn't a choke harness. It was a harness over his shoulders and around his. Travis, for some reason, was opening up the drawers and he was climbing up them. He was 3, climbing up the cupboards to get to the keys. And there's 2 of them sitting in the car. Now, mind you, the car was locked. So Travis would watch us like a hawk. He knew exactly what we were doing. He put the keys in the car. He knew exactly what to do and turned it on, and it jumped. And Jason, thank goodness, was sitting next to him, and he was just like, he was so excited.
The 92%ers really enjoyed us talking about Cedar Point as kids.
Oh, that was a blast.
And me being on a leash growing up.
No.
Can you explain why you put me on a leash?
No, you were on a leash for only like one festival because we were scared to death you were going to run off with the carnies. But it was just...
Well, was this also
this is
close in time to when I had gotten lost at the county fair?
Yeah.
So I think
your brother had just gotten lost the year before, and a cop car pulled him up and said, "Is this your kid?"
Yeah.
And I was scared to death because you would just run off. I couldn't catch you, Trav. You were so fast.
Mom, you told me if you get lost, go right here. You would always tell me right before we got into. So in my mind, I'm like, I can run off. And as long as I'm
you
back
were
to
somewhere in between 1 and 2. You started walking at 8 months, and you were just a terror. 8 months, you were little. We couldn't find you. You would dip in and out of cars, and I'm like, I can't have you dying. So yeah, that's what we did. It was a short 6-month period until you understood how dangerous it was. So.
What kind of leash was it?
It was a harness. It wasn't a leash. We didn't have a leash.
It wasn't
around
the same
your
one.
neck.
It wasn't the same one that Belle had. That like the harder she pulled, the more like choked her or something.
No, it wasn't a choke harness. It was a harness over his shoulders and around his chest.
I could just see me just cotton candy in my hand, just blue mouth, and just getting choked. Just
no, it's just like. It was a short 6-month period and it was only when there were a lot of traffic we were going to somewhere or whatever. I couldn't carry you. You were just too heavy. Sorry.
That's
You're
all right.
a big kid.
I didn't want to be carried. I was ready to rock and roll. Jason, was Jason ever on a leash? Did I ever think like, I need to put Jason on a leash?
No, he stayed close.
I got lost.
Yeah, but that was only one time. Well, you did get lost. It was because this was when he
They didn't tell me where to come back. At least they told you where to come back. They're just...
This was.
I guess he's gone.
Was that at the Ohio State Fair?
It was either county fair or state fair. I forget which one it was.
Well, remember, you also got lost on the turnpike on our way to Chicago.
Well, I didn't get lost. I was in the place that you left. You guys left me. There's the difference of that one.
I made the mistake of giving both of you because you would whine about quarters. There wasn't, there were video games or weren't video games that you could have in the car yet. So I would give you a stack of $10 worth of quarters.
This is
and
genius,
I said, when the quarters are gone, that's it. You can't play anymore.
It's over. Well, yeah.
So he had a stack of coins. I had to go to the bathroom. I got out of the car. We were in the minivan. There were, both Jason and Ed were asleep in the car. You were in the back or something like that with a sleeping bag over your head. I got out, went to the bathroom, came back in. I saw all the bags there and everything, and I thought I saw all 3 heads. And sure enough, I drove off, and you immediately stood straight up, and you're like, Jason, we left the bag at the...
Like Home Alone style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a prick move. I definitely could have told you before you hit the ramp onto the freeway.
Yeah.
I waited until you got on the freeway, and I was just like, wait, where's Jason? Did you forget about? You must really hate him.
So you know how it goes. You have to go 20 miles that way on a turnpike and come back 20 miles.
To flip a Yui,
yeah. So I'm on the other side of the turnpike yelling, "Do you have him?"
Because Dad got out and ran back.
He did. Yeah. He ran 2 miles back to.
He was playing Frogger. There's no way he ran 2 miles.
It was not 2 miles.
Yeah.
The first time the story was told, it was half a mile. Then it went to a mile. Now it's migrated up to 2. We got to stop the blasphemy. There's no way Dad ran 2 miles.
Dad ran back to Ohio just to go get Jason.
He was grabbing his chest, and I thought he was going to have a heart attack. I'm like, "Are you okay?"
Well, Jason has always been known to get lost. He's
true.
He's the worst
Very
at
true.
it. Is him and directions just do not. How do you know how old Jason was when he got lost 2 blocks from home?
Yeah, you had to be in first grade because both of you were going to Fairfax at the time. So he must have been in third grade.
Yeah.
So
probably too old for that to
third
happen.
grade, and I used to drive you every day because I wanted to make
8-year-old. I mean,
I wanted to make sure you got there. You would walk home, but I made sure I drove you there because the school was close enough to walk.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure you weren't lollygagging and not going to get to school. And so I got tired of it. He wasn't ready, and I said, "That's it. I'm tired of waiting on you. We're going to be late." So I took off. I was going to turn around and come back and get him, but he ran across the street to a neighbor and got a ride. And I get a call from the principal, Mrs. McBee, and she's like, "Your son is here," and the neighbor drove him. I'm like, I was going to go get him.
I don't even remember this one. I was thinking of a different one. Apparently, it happened multiple times.
No, this is your thing. This is what you do. You just get lost.
Yeah, but he doesn't run abandoningly into cars and the street. I didn't have to put a harness on him. I did on you. You showed no fear whatsoever of anything. So, but don't put a harness on Ellie.
Yeah.
Let her flank. If she wants to flank,
let her get out there.
She will definitely be the runner.
Now, I also couldn't have you on and not ask about the famous story of Jason with the knives in the front yard.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I had just picked them up from daycare, and we had gotten home. And I decided I was going to go upstairs and change because I had my, work outfit on. So I'm upstairs. I get the shorts on, and I hear from across the street this person calling, "Oh my God, he's got a knife." And I knew who it was immediately.
Did you really?
Yes, I knew it was Jason. He was the only one that was tall enough they could reach him. And I literally had him high up in a cabinet because I had to keep everything sharp away from both of them. But yeah, I ran out there. I only had my shorts on and a bra. I literally ran out and, and then everybody was clapping on the street. They were so excited about that picture. So it was really kind of funny, but, Jason was literally throwing it up in the air, and it would come down and hit the ground, and
like to stick in the grass.
Yeah, and Travis is just looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, that could have went right through his head. But yeah, that was a scary time. That was a scary one.
Yeah, I'm always brought back to like little Jason when he headbutted Grandma.
Oh yeah, he did that with my mother. Yeah. He thought that was just great fun because Ed and he used to do it all the time.
Sure.
Just as like a little game. And he wasn't even walking. They would just headbutt each other. And sure enough,
like a little love tap.
Pretty much knocked my grandmother out. I mean, their grandmother out. And the other time is Jason was like 2 months old, and I had just dried my hair, and he picked up a hairdryer and hit me over the head, and I saw stars on that one. Yeah. And he wasn't doing it to be mean or anything. He just thought it was fun. Thought it was funny. What 2-year-old can pick up a hairdryer and swing it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had muscles back then.
Now, as the mother of that man's 4 children, how can I prevent my kids from repeating their dad's mistake?
Oh, geez. I think every child is their own, and they come up with their own thoughts. So something that they're going to come up with is going to be completely different than what my children did because they're watching different shows.
Sure.
They're looking at cartoons, and I'm sure that Jason had seen that on some cartoon. They both like to mimic.
Now, you've told so many great stories about Jason and Travis. Is there one that you haven't told, and maybe you've been saving for the perfect moment, and maybe this is that moment?
I don't know.
You've aired it out. You've exposed them.
There's one in particular that I do remember. I used to have to keep the keys up high, just like I had to keep the knives up high. And Travis, for some reason, was opening up the drawers, and he was climbing up them. He was 3, climbing up the cupboards to get to the keys. And for some reason, I was in the bathroom or whatever. I mean, you got to go. And I'm all by myself. I go out the back door, and there's 2 of them sitting in the car. Now, mind you, the car was locked. So Travis would watch us like a hawk. He knew exactly what we were doing. He knew how to unlock the car door, get into it, and then slam it shut. And I don't know how he did it, but somehow, and thank goodness, it was it was not an automatic.
Sure.
Okay. And he put the keys in the car. He knew exactly what to do and turned it on, and it jumped and went right through the garage door. And Jason, thank goodness, was sitting next to him, and he was just like this. He was so excited. But he could have been standing in front of it. It could have been a really bad moment.
I will tell you, after watching the dynamic between our own kids now, I wouldn't be surprised if Jason wasn't following him to say, nope, put the key in the hole.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna want to turn it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he actually got it started. Yeah, he did at 3. So from then on, I always had to have my keys on my person. I could not hide them.
That's terrible.
Because they could see where I left them. So yeah, that was a little scary.
Not Trav out here just saving receipts.
Yeah, there's some other ones with the car, but I can't go into it.
The trunk?
Yeah.
When it was going to be sold the next day?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
we'll leave that.
Yeah.
We'll leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Be out of respect for the individuals involved.
Yeah.
We'll keep that one between us. Okay. Now, you've done an amazing job as a mom. I know how proud you are of Jason and Travis, and they are of you. Is there a piece of motherhood advice that you lived by?
Oh, dear. Every once in a while, let them fight. Because
that's great advice. I love this.
Because that's how you learn to negotiate, to do different things. But I mean, if it looks like it's getting kind of, a
little too
terrible,
dicey,
and it's too, it looks like somebody's going to get hurt. But usually somebody cries and it stops.
Sure.
So, unfortunately, the younger one definitely has to figure it out. And they really do come up with good negotiation skills and manipulation and some bargaining. Other things. Yeah. Yeah. So
now, as his mom, what have you enjoyed the most about watching Jason as a dad?
Oh, I'm just totally amazed that he can be as gentle as he can, but then he still throws them up in the air on the couch. But that is a softer side of him that I don't think I've ever seen before. And he definitely loves his girls. There's no doubt about it.
Yep. They've got him.
Yeah, they do.
You're also our first guest who has grandchildren, and we do have a lot of real ones with grandkids. So I'd love to know what grandparenting advice you would give as a first timer.
Let them do whatever they want. It's terrible. No, within reason. There are things that I ask you, can I do this? Can I do that?
Very much so.
But I think you're there to show them as much love as you possibly can. And I'm not the one that's going to be the downer. So I try not to be. But every once in a while, you have to say, okay, that's enough. But yeah.
I do think that you have an amazing balance of coming in. They know that you'll bring them sweet treats because that's the grandparents' duty. Everybody knows that. You have free reign on sweet treats.
Yeah.
And they know that you will sit there and give them your undivided attention and read them books. And so because of that, whenever there is mention of Dee Dee, they're like, where is she? When she get here? Is she here yet? It's there's excitement with it that is unmatched.
Yeah.
And very obvious that they truly value the time that they get to spend with you.
Well, I value it also.
I have said before that there was a time when Wyatt, I think she was around 2, and I remember her having a tough moment, we'll call it. And you were staring at her in a very just observant way. And I looked at you and I said, is it giving you PTSD? And you said, a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah.
Who reminds you the most of a Travis personality?
Oh, dear. Well, it's usually the second or the third child because they're the ones that are fearless. Mm-hmm. And, you're learning with the first child. So I would have to say that Ellie probably is the one that throws herself off the couch without abandon.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, so she has no fear.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Donna, as you know, I love talking about motherhood on this podcast. And since I'm married to your son, I have a lot of questions for you. I, of course, have 4 girls and you raised 2 boys.
Oh, yeah.
And witnessing a household of all girls now and being close to it.
Yeah.
What would you say are the biggest differences between raising boys and girls?
The thing that just amazes me is how they will sit down and do a craft for a certain period of time. That wasn't my experience.
No.
It was constantly running around, jumping off of things, getting into trouble, running out the door, starting the car up, when they were 3. So
yes,
they got into a lot of stuff.
Now, is there one that you would say is tougher or just different?
I think Jason, because he was the oldest and, always the elder child in the family, not all the time, but especially with Jason, he would tend to listen and follow the rules. Yeah, Travis isn't a rule follower. No, he runs to the tune of his own drum.
We had a conversation after I had Bennett where you had mentioned 3 girls still sounds a little bit nicer than 2 boys for that age.
Yeah.
Because, a bird.
It must be one of my ancestors.
Now, much like you're saying, doing a craft, we often start our day with a nice drawing, coloring session.
Oh, yeah.
And I have said that in that moment, a house of boys would never. They would never.
No, they're breaking the crayons. It's like I saw one time 2 different fields. There was a field full of boys playing soccer and a field full of girls playing soccer. The girls, you ask them to get in a circle and kick the ball between each other. With the boys, one's, playing basketball with the soccer ball. They are, hitting each other. They're wrestling on the floor. They're doing everything but what they're told to do. So, yeah. Completely different.
It might be tougher for us later.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ultimately, no mother raises a child anticipating the legendary footprint they might one day leave on the world. When Donna Kelce was simply trying to survive the whirlwind of raising 2 fiercely competitive, hyperactive boys, resorting to the literal tether of a child leash just to keep a young Travis from sprinting out of sight, she wasn't executing a master plan to forge a sports titan. She was just being a mother, holding tight to a storm she couldn't control. She could never have predicted that the relentless, untamed energy straining against that leash was the exact same fire that would one day burn down defenses across the NFL. Yet, life has a poetic way of refining raw chaos into greatness. That stubborn, explosive spirit that once made a toddler impossible to contain became the very engine of Travis Kelce's unprecedented success. Channeling that endless reservoir of passion onto the gridiron, he evolved from an uncontrollable kid into a genuine football phenomenon. Every route run, every relentless push for extra yards, and every defiant celebration was powered by the same raw electric instinct that characterized his youth. He didn't just learn to play the game, he dominated it, transforming into an absolute NFL monster, an unstoppable force that defenses feared and fans revered. The journey from a chaotic childhood to the peak of professional sports reads like a modern epic. Along the way, the boyhood wildness matured into the disciplined brilliance of a multi-time Super Bowl champion, a record-shattering tight end, and a global pop culture icon with millions in the bank. But beyond the money, the endorsement deals, and the blinding stadium lights lies a far richer legacy, the creation of a true living legend. Travis Kelce didn't just win trophies. He redefined his position, captured the hearts of a generation, and etched the Kelce name forever into the bedrock of American sports history. Looking back, the image of a mother holding fast to her headstrong son takes on a whole new meaning. It wasn't about restraint, it was the humble beginning of an extraordinary trajectory. Donna Kelce's tough love didn't clip his wings, it anchored him until he was ready to fly. Today, as Mama Kelce sits in the owner's box watching her son command the field with unmatched flair, the wild toddler who once needed a leash stands as a giant among men. What began as a mother's simple quest to keep her son safe blossomed into one of the greatest success stories in sports history, a timeless reminder that sometimes the wild spirit you try so hard to tame is destined to conquer the world.